University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello. Under the rule apparently devised by Kafka on one of his off days, we've already seen Manchester University and University College London win the first of the two quarter-final victories they need if they're going to qualify for the semi-finals. Tonight, two more teams are looking for their first quarter-final win, and with only 20 points between their accumulated scores so far, they could have a pretty close fight for it. Pembroke College, Cambridge were runners-up last year, and they've already made a good start in this year's bid to go one step further with a comfortable win over Lancaster University in round one and a pushover against the University of Bath in round two. With an average age of 19, let's meet the Pembroke team for the third time.
I'm Robert Scaines, I'm from North London and I'm studying natural sciences.
Hello, I'm Emily Moore from Oxford and I'm studying maths.
And their captain.
Hello, I'm Tom Foxall, I'm from Birmingham and I'm studying classics.
I'm Jemima Hodkinson, I'm from Portsmouth and I'm studying natural sciences.
The more senior of tonight's teams, with an average age of 23, is the team from St George's, London, who proved that being science specialists need not be a handicap in this contest, with a close win over King's College, Cambridge in round one. And then in their second round match, they too beat Lancaster University. Let's meet the St George's team again.
Hello, I'm Shashank Sivaji, originally from Southend-on-Sea in Essex, and I'm studying medicine.
Hello, my name's Alexander Soupsang. I'm from London and I'm studying medicine.
Their captain.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Smoker from Stourbridge, County Kildare, and I'm studying medicine.
Hi, I'm Sam Mindel from London, also studying medicine.
Right, the rules are the same as ever, so fingers on the buzzer. Here's your first starter for 10. Which regnal name links the last Bourbon king of France, the last Habsburg king of Spain, the man who was crowned Holy Roman Emperor at
St George's Soupsang.
Charles?
Charles is correct, yes. Right, the first set of bonuses are on British currency, St George's. In 1696, which architect, a founder of the Royal Society, proposed a decimal coinage based on a silver noble divided into 10 primes and 100 seconds?
Could be,
Wren?
It was Sir Christopher Wren. Equivalent to 1/10 of a pound and named ultimately after an Italian city, which coin was introduced in 1849 as a tentative step towards a decimal currency?
Florin.
Correct. In which decade was full decimalisation finally introduced in the United Kingdom?
1970s?
Correct. 10 points for the starter question. The basis of his attacks on Shakespeare is really the charge, quite true of course, that Shakespeare wasn't an enlightened member of the Fabian Society. These words of George Orwell refer to which Irish playwright?
St George's Soupsang.
George Bernard Shaw?
Correct. Right, these bonuses are on a 16th century publication, St George's. Although aided by several contributors, which 16th century English chronicler gave his name to the Chronicles of England, Scotland and Ireland, used as a source by Shakespeare?
Geoffrey of Monmouth? I think he might be earlier. I think it was earlier.
It's one of these things I used to know, but... Try Monmouth.
Try Geoffrey of Monmouth, I think it's wrong there.
Geoffrey Monmouth?
No, it was Raphael Holinshead. Holinshead had access to the manuscripts of which chaplain to Henry VIII, who acted as the king's antiquary? His papers can now be seen in the Bodleian and British museums.
I have no idea.
No idea.
Pass.
No, that was John Leyland. And finally, Holinshead's chronicles give details of an uprising of Kentish rebels against Henry VI. Who was its leader?
I think what time?
Oh,
No, maybe it's later.
could...
Maybe the peasants' revolt's later.
I was thinking Wycliffe, but I thought Tyler could be better.
What's that?
Try what, Tyler?
17.
What's Tyler?
No, it's Jack Cade. 10 points for this. Known as Kelvin's wedge, the angle enclosed by the wake of a vessel travelling in deep water is theoretically constant, regardless of the velocity of the vessel. To within 5 degrees, what is the numerical value of this angle?
St George's Mindle.
90 degrees.
No, Pembroke, one of you buzz?
Pembroke Moor.
45 degrees.
No, I'd have taken 44 because the real answer is 39. 10 points for this starter question. The author of the 1944 work, Full Employment in a Free Society, which economist gives his name to the curve that's a graphical depiction of the relationship between the level of unemployment in an economy and the level of vacancies?
St George's Shivaji.
Keynes, sorry.
No, one of you buzz from Pembroke?
Pembroke Foxhall.
The Laffer curve.
No, that's to do with taxation and income, isn't it? It's to do with... That's William Beveridge I was looking for. In a 1954 book on the nature of the eponymous subject, what did the US psychologist Gordon W. Allport describe as a feeling favourable or unfavourable toward a person or thing prior to or not based on actual experience?
St George's Mindle.
Prejudice.
Correct. These bonuses are on US President St George's as the candidate of the Free Soil Party. Which former president won 10% of the popular vote at the 1848 presidential election, thus swinging the victory to the Whig Zachary Taylor?
Andrew Jackson.
No, it's Martin Van Buren, who acceded to the presidency on the death of Zachary Taylor in 1850. At the 1856 presidential election, he was the candidate of the American or Know Nothing Party and polled 22% of the vote.
John Quincy Adams.
No, it was Millard Fillmore. And finally, in the presidential election of 1912, which former president ran as the Progressive Party candidate, attracting 27% of the popular vote?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Correct. We're going to take our first picture round. For your picture starter, you're going to see a set of flags. 10 points if you can work out the sequence they represent from 1972 to the present day.
St George's Shivaji.
Declarations of Independence.
No, Pembroke College, one of you may buzz.
Pembroke Foxhall.
Secretaries of the United Nations.
I'll accept that, yes. Secretaries General of the United Nations, the last 5 nationalities thereof. OK, following on from that sequence of flags, your picture bonuses are 3 more sets of flags, similarly representing sequences in world current affairs. Again, in each case, 5 points if you can work out the sequence they represent. Firstly,
World Cup winners?
It could be. Yeah, it could be.
I think it is. Yeah. World Cup winners.
no, they're the nationalities of the last 5 presidents of the European Commission. Secondly,
Oh, are they? No, not head of the G8, are they? No.
World Bank.
World Bank.
Oh, it could go for it.
Yeah, heads of the World Bank.
no, they're the locations of the last 5 G8 summits. And finally,
Yes.
Any ideas?
No. Guess anything.
No, we don't know.
they're the last 5 countries to join the United Nations, South Sudan being the most recent. Right, 10 points for this. Founded 1638 as Fort Christina by Swedish settlers, which city in Delaware is the largest in the state and shares its name with a village in East Sussex, famed for the giant figure of a long man carved into the South Downs hillside?
Pembroke Foxhall.
Wilmington.
Correct. Right, your bonuses are on biochemistry. I want the name of the class of enzyme allocated by the Enzyme Commission of the International Union of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology for the following reactions. Firstly, for 5 points. What are enzymes EC number 1? They transfer hydrogen and oxygen atoms or electrons from one substrate to another. For example, dehydrogenases and oxidases.
Oxoreductases.
Does that sound about right? Oxoreductase?
No, they're oxidoreductases. Secondly, what are enzymes EC number 4? They catalyse the removal or addition of groups without hydrolysis, often forming a new double bond. Decarb oxylases are examples.
Transferase.
No, they're liases. What are enzymes EC number 6? They join together two molecules forming new bonds while simultaneously hydrolyzing ATP. For example, synthetases.
Ligase. Ligase. Ligase.
Ligases is correct, yes. 10 points for this. According to details on packaging, which common cleansing agent may contain ingredients including aqua, hydrated silica, sodium bicarbonate, propylene glycol, pentasodium triphosphate, tetrasodium pyrophosphate, sodium lauryl sulfate, sodium...
Pembroke Moore.
Soap.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. Sodium lauryl sulfate, sodium saccharin and calcium
St.
peroxide.
George's Soup Sing.
Toothpaste.
Toothpaste is correct, yes. 15 points for these bonuses. They're on columns in The Economist newspaper, firstly for a possible 5, covering British current affairs. Which column is named after the figure who became editor of The Economist in 1861 and later published the English Constitution?
Budget.
Correct. Which column on public policy is named after a biblical metaphor for the absolute power of the state envisaged in an eponymous work of 1651?
So public policy. Is it not Leviathan or Behemoth or something? It could be Leviathan.
Leviathan.
Leviathan is correct. Named after a tree that stores water in an unusually thick trunk. The baobab column is concerned with which continent?
Africa.
Correct. 10 points for this. Which year saw the birth of the mathematician Alfred North Whitehead, the death of Albert, the Prince Consort, the abolition of serfdom in Russia, and the start of the American Civil War?
St. George's Soup Sing.
1861.
Correct. These bonuses are on the Venetian School of Renaissance Artists. Firstly, for 5 points, who painted St. Francis in Ecstasy, now in New York's Frick collection, and the portrait of Doge Leonardo Loredan in the National Gallery?
Bellini.
Correct. The Tempest, The Three Philosophers, and Sleeping Venus are among the rare surviving works of which of Bellini's pupils?
No, I thought Titian, but it's not rare, so it can't be Titian. Because there are lots of them. Try it then.
Crivelli.
No, it's Giorgione. Left unfinished on Giorgione's untimely death, the landscape in The Sleeping Venus is thought to have been added by which painter widely considered to be the greatest of the Venetian school?
Titian.
Titian is right, yes. We're going to take a music round. For your music starter, you'll hear an excerpt from an 18th century song. 10 points if you can tell me who's singing.
Pembroke Skeins.
Charlotte Church.
It is Charlotte Church, yes. She won the British Artist of the Year award at the Classical Brit Awards in 2000. For your bonuses, you're going to hear music from other recipients of the Classic Brit Awards. 5 points for each you can name. Firstly, the soloist here, who was winner of the Male Artist of the Year award in 2003.
We don't know, I'm afraid.
That was a long time to come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
It's Nigel Kennedy. Secondly, this Composer of the Year winner in 2009.
John Rutter.
No, that's Howard Goodall. That was from the Red Dwarf Series 1 opening. And finally, these performers who won Album of the Year in 2010.
Il Divo?
No, it's Only Men Allowed. 10 points for this. In ecology, what five-letter word describes the role or functional position of a species within its...
St George's Smoker.
Niche.
Niche is right, yes. These bonuses are on epidemiology. Firstly, for 5 points, in which type of retrospective epidemiological study is the exposure of a certain risk factor compared between two groups of individuals who respectively either have or do not have the outcome of interest at the present time?
I think it's cohort.
Cohort.
No, it's a case control study. Secondly, in which type of prospective epidemiological study is a group of subjects specified in advance and followed up in the future to determine which individuals eventually develop the outcome of interest?
Cohort.
Correct. And finally, which type of epidemiological study uses population groups such as those in different countries rather than individuals as the basic unit of comparison?
Population study, I don't know.
Population study.
That's an ecological study. 10 points for this starter question. Listen carefully. What is the largest integer n for which the Fermat equation x to the n plus y to the n equals z to the n possesses a solution in positive integer?
Pembroke Skeins.
2.
2 is correct, yes. Right, these bonuses are on Pilgrim's Paths, Pembroke College. The 130-mile ancient trackway, popularly called the Pilgrim's Way, leads to Thomas à Becket Shrine at Canterbury. In which cathedral city does it begin?
London.
No, it's not. It's not far enough.
Norwich. Canterbury. Could be.
Yeah.
Norwich.
No, it's in Winchester. The Edge of Wales Walk follows an ancient pilgrimage route to which Welsh island, the site of a religious house founded by St Cadfan in the 6th century?
Anglesey.
No, it's Bardsey Island. St Cuthbert's Way begins at Melrose and finishes on which island where the saint was a bishop from 685?
Lindisfarne.
Lindisfarne.
Correct. 10 points for the starter question. Expressed in a book with the translated English title Classic of the Way, which philosophy, stressing the unity of humanity and the universe, was founded more than 2,000 years ago by Lao Tzu?
St George's Mindel.
Taoism.
Taoism or Taoism is correct, yes. These bonuses are on world capitals, St George's. In each case, name the city and also tell me the independent sovereign country of which it is the capital. Firstly, which city appears in the title of a 1985 film directed by Woody Allen? It concerns a fictional character who steps out of a cinema screen to enter the real world.
Steps out of the cinema screen. No, I don't know. Try Paris, France, but it's not.
Actually, Paris isn't bad. That's a good guess. Yeah.
Paris, France.
No, it's Cairo, Egypt, as in the Purple Rose of Cairo. Secondly, along with the title of a novel by Vladimir Nabokov, which city appears in the title of a 2003 memoir by Azar Nafizi?
Anyone know Nabokov? No, that's not going to be. Kabul. We're just going. Nabokov. Should we just try Moscow? Moscow, Russia.
Come on, let's have
Moscow,
it.
Russia.
No, it's Tehran, Iran, as in reading Lolita in Tehran. Finally, the given name of the popular music performer who married David Beckham in 1999.
Victoria. Where's that the capital?
Victoria, where?
Victoria.
Where's Victoria's capital?
It's in British territory. Isn't it anywhere with a capital called Victoria? Yeah. It's a Caribbean state.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know St Lucia?
Let's have it, please.
Try it.
St. Jude, yeah. Victoria, St. Lucia.
No, it's Victoria, Seychelles. 10 points for this. At the crossing point of the Trans-Siberian Railway and the river Ob, what is the largest city of Siberia and the third largest of the Russian Republic?
St George's Subsang.
Irkutsk.
No, anyone like to buzz from Pembroke College?
Pembroke Hodkinson.
Nizhny Novgorod.
No, it's Novosibirsk. 10 points for this. What word may precede both fracture to describe an injury in which a broken bone pierces the skin and eye in the name of a sight organ composed of units called...
Pembroke Skeins.
Compound.
Compound is correct, yes. These bonuses, Pembroke College, are on vertebrate bone structure, from the Greek meaning growing through. What term denotes the midsection or shaft of long-limbed bones? In adults, their central medullary cavities are filled with yellow marrow.
Something trophic. Metatrophic. Metatrophic?
No, it's diaphysis. What term denotes, secondly, the expanded ends of limb bones? They contain red marrow and articulate with adjacent bones to form joints.
Foot.
All the other team know, you know, there's epiphyses. And finally, what connective tissue forms the smooth articulating surface of the epiphyses of long bones?
Cartilage. Cartilage.
Correct. Right, we're going to take our second picture round. For your picture starter, I want you to tell me the name of this object.
St George's Shivaji.
The Hubble Space Telescope.
It is, yes. It was launched into orbit in 1990. Your picture bonuses are 3 stellar objects photographed by the Hubble. 5 points for each one you can identify. Firstly, for 5, what term denotes a galaxy of this type?
It's not a quasar, I don't think, but it's tempting to say that it's a quasar. It could be.
Is it a spiral galaxy? Try spiral. It's a galaxy.
It doesn't look like a spiral.
It's rather sure.
Okay, try it.
Quasar, spiral.
No, it's not a quasar.
Spiral?
No, it's a starburst galaxy. Secondly, the popular name of this nebula.
Something I nebula. What is it? No. What has famous eyes?
Let's have it, please.
Owl's eye.
Owl's eye?
No, it's Crab Nebula. And finally,
It's Mars.
Mars?
that is Mars, yes. Right. 10 points for this. In 2003, Paul Craig of Australia set the course record of 9 minutes 33 seconds for running a vertical distance of more than 300 metres up the 1,576 steps and 86 stories of which landmark?
Pembroke Skeins.
The BT Tower.
No, anyone want to buzz from St George's?
St George's Subsang.
Empire State Building.
Correct. Your bonuses are on politicians, St George's. A Labour MP from 1987 to 2010 who published the novel A Very British Coup in 1982. His third volume of diaries, entitled A Walk on Part, came out in 2011.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
But 2010 seems a bit late.
I think he left by then. But let's try it.
Tony Benn?
Tony Benn? No, he's not so modest. No, it's Chris Mullin, who was elected Conservative MP for Corby and East Northamptonshire in 2010. She had previously published works in the chick lit genre, including Sparkles, Glamour and The Devil You Know.
Louise Mensch. Yes. Louise Mensch.
Louise Mensch?
Correct. Who published her debut novel, The Clematis Tree, in 2000 when she was a Conservative MP for Maidstone and the Weald.
Could that be Anne Widdecombe?
Anne Widdecombe?
Correct, yes. 10 points for this and 4 minutes to go. In chess, a position in which every legal move gives a clear advantage to the opponent is known by what German term, literally meaning move obligation? It's Zugzwang. 10 points for this. Varroa destructor is a parasitic mite on the larvae of which species of the genus Apis, an insect in...
St George's Mindle.
Wasps.
No, you lose 5 points. An insect important both economically and ecologically.
Pembroke Hodkinson.
Honeybee.
Honeybee is correct, yes. These bonuses, Pembroke College, are on a composer. Which Hungarian composer and pianist received minor orders in the Catholic Church in 1865? His religious works include the oratorio Christus.
Liszt.
Correct. Liszt had 3 children by the Comtesse d'Agoult, one of them being their daughter Cosima, who in 1870 became the wife of which German composer?
1870.
Come on.
Wagner.
Correct. Which Chinese concert pianist marked the bicentenary of Liszt's birth with the release in 2011 of his album Liszt, My Piano Hero?
Lang Lang.
Lang Lang is correct. 10 points for this. The Welsh word for small shares a spelling with the surname of which family of composers? Its best-known member was born in Eisenach in 1685.
St George's Mindel.
Bach.
Bach is correct, yes. These bonuses are on fictional architects, St George's. Gary Cooper played the architect Howard Rourke in a 1949 film adaptation of The Fountainhead, a novel by which author?
Pass.
That's by Ayn Rand. Architecture is among the talents of Eric, the title character of which 1910 novel by Gaston Leroux, adapted for the stage and screen on numerous occasions?
Phantom of the Opera.
Correct. Halvard Solness is the title character in which play by Henrik Ibsen?
Maybe the Master Builder.
The Master Builder.
Correct. 10 points for this. What designation links Leamington Spa in 1838, Tunbridge Wells in 19...
St George's Mindel.
Royal.
Royal is correct, yes. Your bonuses now are on organic chemistry. In chemistry, the symbol R is used for which group formed from an alkane by the removal of a single hydrogen atom?
An alkyl group.
Alkyl.
Correct. What name is given to the simplest alkyl group, also known as the CH3 group?
Methyl.
Correct. Which of the methyls is a flammable toxic liquid used as a solvent and antifreeze? It can be catalytically converted to petrol and has the formula CH3OH.
Methanol. It's formaldehyde. Yeah. Yeah.
Methanol.
Correct. 10 points for this. In physics, an alpha particle is what kind of atomic nucleus?
St George's Mindel.
Hydrogen.
No, anyone buzz from Pembroke?
Pembroke Moore.
Helium.
Helium is correct, yes. Your bonuses, Pembroke College, are on novels whose titles are taken from plays by Shakespeare. Firstly, Cakes and Ale, taken from a line in Twelfth Night, is a novel of 1930 by which author? Come on.
Somerset Maugham.
Correct. Which novel of 1872 by Thomas Hardy takes its title from the first line of a
Far from
song...
Madding Crowd.
No. Anyway, performed by Amiens in As You Like It, it's Under the Greenwood Tree, and finally, forming the title of a 1968 novel by Agatha Christie, which 6 words precede the line, something wicked this way comes, spoken by one of the witches in Macbeth.
By the pricking of my thumbs.
Correct. 10 points for this starter question. Censured in 2004 for referring to the Queen as Mrs. And at the wrong, Pembroke College, Cambridge have 105, St George's, London have 195. Well, you didn't seem really to be on song on this occasion, Pembroke College, but never mind, because we're going to see both of you again. I hope you can join us next time for another quarter-final match, but until then, it's goodbye from Pembroke College, Cambridge.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from St George's, London.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.